Sound settings, sounds, applications, turn that down to like 20. Okay, so I found this Minecraft animation tutorial for Blender 5.0. Finally, took me a while. This is 3 hours and 20 minutes. Let me just take the link, paste it into chat. So it's saved for posterity reasons. I'm gonna subscribe to both these fellas, and I'm gonna leave a like.
If you want to learn how to make Minecraft animations like these, then you've come to the right place. Hello, I'm Woodplank, and I've been making Minecraft animations and teaching how to make Minecraft animations using Blender for many years. And in this tutorial series, I will be teaching you how to use Blender 5.0, which is completely free, and I will show you how to get started with making Minecraft animations. If you don't already know, Blender is a powerful, free and open source 3D software, which can do almost everything, including 3D animations, which is what we will learn throughout the series. Additionally, we will touch on the subjects of setting up the scene, lighting, compositing, rendering, and video editing. Don't worry if you've never done any of these things before, because I will hold your hand throughout the series and explain everything step by step. By the end of this video, you will learn everything you need to know about creating beautiful cinematic 3D Minecraft animations, and you will be able to make this cool, short animation. 2 years ago, I released the Blender 4.0 beginner tutorial series, which a lot of people loved and learned a lot from. But since Blender 5.0 came out, there have been a few updates, which is why I decided to remake the tutorial. But instead of 5 parts, I will keep everything inside this one giant video. But don't worry if this video is too long, because I will show you the best ways to use YouTube for amazing learning experience. So before jumping in the tutorial, I will take a few moments to explain cool tips and life hacks. But if you want to jump straight into the tutorial, then feel free to skip to this part. So, this tutorial will have 5 segments. In the first segment, we will learn the basics of Blender, navigation, interacting with objects, and more. In segment 2, we will learn how to export and import the worlds, set up our scene, and organize our assets. In segment 3, we will jump into lighting and compositing to give our scene a cinematic look. In segment 4, we will learn animation and animate our Minecraft character and our camera. And finally, we will learn how to edit the video, add some sound effects, and export it properly. All segments will be written down and organized in the description of the video, so you can easily access them. I will have the topics organized into chapters and timestamps, so you can easily access them and relook at the subject you want to continue from. Also, if you go to the description of the video and click on more, you can scroll down and click on show transcript. This will transcribe the tutorial and show you everything that was said throughout the video. So if you need to find a specific keyword, you can click on Ctrl F and search for that word. Additionally, you can use this ask feature to ask Google Gemini AI.
Oh no, please no. No.
You can write down your question manually or use the pre-made templates that is customized for the video and click on it to prompt the question. Also,
I'm good. I'm good. No AI. I'm good.
For that, go to the settings, click on subtitles, then click on auto translate and choose your preferred language. Now you will have your preferred subtitles. If you want to speed run some parts, then you can change the speed of the video by going to the playback speed settings and choosing your desired pace. If you want to check something frame by frame, then you can use the comma and dot keys on your keyboard, or less than and more than keys on your keyboard. They're basically the same. It's very useful when you're analyzing references or watching animations on YouTube and breaking them down. Also, if you have YouTube Premium, you can click on these dots and download the video. So next time you open YouTube, you can go to your downloads library and watch this video without the internet if that's something you prefer. If you have any feedback, questions or issues, please leave a comment or join my Discord using the link in the description and ask your question in the hashtag help text channel. After you finish the tutorial, you might have some questions about how to do certain things. So I recommend going through my channel, clicking on the videos tab and using Ctrl F to find your keywords, because there is a high chance that I already have a video made about what you're looking for. But if there are no videos made about a certain topic you're looking for, then feel free to suggest some of the video ideas in the comments. I should also mention that there is a lot of information to take from this video, especially if you're just starting out. So don't worry about mastering everything in one day, and do this across a few days. For example, if I start learning a new topic, I find that learning for 30 minutes a day is enough, so I don't feel overwhelmed and I can enjoy the process. So find your pace, learn as long as you want, and keep in mind that you don't have to rush it. And learning this can take a few days or even weeks, or for some people it can take months, which is totally fine. So take your time and enjoy the process. And lastly, if you want to go beyond the beginner level and dive deeper into creating longer cinematic Minecraft animations, learn more about animation tools and principles, Graph Editor and the Annihilate Editor, get familiar with how to save time and use the animation library, plan your animated films properly and have multiple characters and multiple camera shots, and master the full Minecraft animation workflow from start to finish, then be sure to check out my Blender 3D Minecraft animation course, Ultimate A to Z Guide on Udemy. It's a 12-hour step-by-step structured course which is designed to take you from a complete beginner to someone who can create long cinematic Minecraft animations in just a few days using Blender. The course is highly rated and has over 100 students as of recording this video. It has captions in over 17 languages, so you can enable your preferred subtitles. Also, the great thing about Udemy is that it gives discounts very often, so you can get the course at a very affordable price. And if you purchase the course and you don't like it, then Udemy offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can get the course risk-free. But I am very confident that once you get the course, you will love it and keep it. One thing to keep in mind is that the course was made using Blender 4.5, but everything you will learn there is relevant and transferable to Blender 5.0 and newer releases. And lastly, once you get the course, you will get lifetime access, free updates, and if you get stuck on anything, I will respond to you as fast as possible to make sure you keep making progress. So if you are interested, then check out the first link in the description. Now, if you want to follow along here, get ready because we are about to begin. So first,
Okay.
obviously download Blender. Go to the Blender website, which
Blender already downloaded. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Okay. Jump ahead. Here we go.
disappear. And that's it. Welcome to the amazing world of Blender. If it's your first time opening, don't worry, it might feel a little intimidating, but feel free to follow along this video and make sure to listen to everything I say. If you already know the basics of Blender, navigation, creating, deleting objects, then feel free to skip to this part of the video. So firstly, I want to tell you that this is the 3D view part, right? We're going to spend most of our time here, like 95% of the time. And we have a bunch of different windows here, and don't worry about them. I'm quickly going to glance over what these are. So we have an outliner, which you can think of it as like your folders, which you can organize some stuff here, and we're going to go through that too. On this side, we have a bunch of properties like render, output, and all the other properties. You don't have to learn everything right now. We're going to go through them step by step and learn the necessary stuff from here.
Okay, and
play button, we have the
cool.
timer, which you can drag and then play the animation later as when we start animating. And on top we have a bunch of workspaces. So Blender has many workspaces.
Okay, why can I not? G. Okay. I'm gonna just put that over there. Putting that back over here. I messed that up, didn't I? It's okay, we can redo stuff.
organized for different purposes. So I have 3D viewport here, timeline here, properties, outliner here. But if I, for example, want to model, I can go to the modeling, and it's going to customize and rearrange the windows for the best modeling experience. Similarly, if I, for example, want to sculpt, I can go here. I can also go to shading, animation, it's going to rearrange the windows and so on. But you don't have to concern yourself with these. You can just click on layout and then customize the layout as much as you want. So if I click this window, for example, I can drag this and then rearrange it however you want. I can also click here, click on this button, and then switch this, for example, to UV editor, timeline, graph editor. You don't have to follow along right now, but I'm just showing you that you can do a lot of stuff. You can switch this to the compositor and so on. But right now I'm going to go back to the default, so I'm going to click on 3D viewport here, and then click on the outliner here, and I have my
Okay. I'm going to...
So zoom out.
I already know most of these things.
And practice with basic from the preferences. And also do is spot. But if you want to redo your action, then you can click on Control Shift Z, and that's going to redo your action. Now I'm going to Control Z and bring back the cube, and let's continue. Now when you open Blender, this is the default 3D view you're going to be greeted, but you can actually check your objects or your characters from one side, the other side, go to the top view. And if you want to go to the opposite,
That's teaching them that.
also to Shift and then F while I'm animating. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But before we jump into changing preferences and doing all the fancy stuff, I'm going to show you how to move objects, because that's very important if you want to learn animation. So to show you the basics of moving, rotating and scaling your objects, I'm going to select the cube and then make sure we see the side. If you don't see the side, press on T and then it's going to reappear, or click on this tiny arrow and it's going to appear. Now this is set by default, which is the select box. Now you might be overwhelmed to see all of these options right here, but don't worry about the rest. All we need to do is learn how to move, rotate and scale. So we need these three. First I'm going to click on this move, and you can see I have different gizmos appear right here in my scene. Now before we move the objects, I'm going to tell you continue and follow along. Now before I show you how to create and delete objects and do a bunch of stuff, we're going to change some preferences so we can make our lives easier. So what we need to do is go to edit, click on preferences, and we're going to change a bunch of preferences from here. So first thing I'm going to do is go to system, and then make sure you have a GPU inside your computer, especially NVIDIA. You use CUDA or optics. For example, I have the RTX 3060 laptop GPU, and I'm going to use optics. You can also use CUDA if you have older graphics cards like GTX ones, for example. If you have AMD, you can use HIP, or if you have Mac, you can use Metal. It's not listed here because I don't have a Mac, but if you have Mac, you should probably see Metal, and feel free to enable that. Now we need to enable this because it's going to render our scenes a lot faster. We're going to be able to walk out faster, and it's just going to make our lives easier.
File. Edit. Preferences. Input. Let's hope that doesn't hurt me.
One thing to keep in mind in Blender 5.0 as well is that if you go to backend, we have OpenGL and Vulkan. Vulkan is more experimental right now. A lot of people say it's actually going to speed up your viewport, but in my case, I choose OpenGL because whenever I enabled Vulkan, it was starting to lag my scene. So I have changed it to Optics, GPU, or HIP, depending on what you want. I'm going to leave this at RTX 3050, and then you might think that enabling both your GPU and CPU, aka your graphics card or your processor together, is going to speed things up, but in most cases, if your CPU is a lot slower than your graphics card, it's going to slow the scenes down and slow the rendering down. So
Okay. So maybe not.
I usually disable my CPU and only keep my GPU. So that's pretty much it about the graphics card. And once we enable the graphics card, we're going to see it in the render settings later on, and I'm going to show you that too if you're new. Now, one thing I recommend you to do is go to memory and limits, and then take undo steps, click and hold on the left mouse, and then drag this on the right side, and then scroll this all the way up to 256, so that we're gonna be able to undo as much as we want. Basically.
Okay. File. Preferences. Undo steps. I'm just gonna have that be 100.
I turn undo steps all the way up so I can control Z many times, which means that whenever I'm animating and I make mistakes, I can press and control Z many times without having to worry that I get stuck. One more thing I recommend you do is go to network and then click on allow online access. This is gonna be pretty handy if you wanna install add-ons quickly and then drag and drop them directly inside Blender, so make sure you enable this. And now speaking of add-ons, let's go inside the add-ons section and make sure we enable some add-ons. So what we need to do is search for an add-on called the Node Wrangler. Make sure you have the Node Wrangler and add-on enabled. If you want to enable this, click this and it's going to be ticked on like this, and it's going to become handy when we're working with nodes. So make sure you enable the Node Wrangler add-on. The next thing we need to do is go to Keymap, and we're going to change a few shortcuts here. So like I told you, you can click on Shift tilde. So let me minimize this for now. So if I click on Shift tilde, I'm going to be able to fly. But like I told you, I want to change it to Shift F, and that's pretty easy to do from the preferences. I'm going to go back to preferences, click on name, make sure you're in name, and this navigation that I just showed you is called fly. So click on fly, type fly like this, and then you can see we have 3D view, view navigation, walk/fly. I can click on this and then click on Shift F and then set.
Okay. Shift tilde. Oh. Hold up. Does that mean I can... This brings a whole different perspective to Blender. I'm sorry. What? Okay. That is weird. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. Oh, that paused the music. I don't want to pause the music. I want to resume this video.
Set this to Shift F because I'm pretty used to using Shift F. Now I can click this and save preferences, but autosave preferences is enabled. Again, if I minimize this, now if I go to 3D view, I can click on Shift F, and now I'm going to be able to fly like so. So make sure you enable this from the preferences, click on walk fly, and then enable Shift F. One more thing I like to do is stay in a name and then search for frame selected. Now you can see in 3D view right here, I know it's a bunch of settings, might feel overwhelming, but if you go to 3D view, click on frame selected, and then click on this numpad period. Instead of numpad period, I want to set this to F. So let me show you. Since I have a numpad, I'm going to show you what it does. So for example, let's say I'm all the way over here working on my scene, and I want to select the camera and orbit and rotate it around the camera to work on it. I cannot do that right now, and it's pretty uncomfortable. So I can press on numpad period, and now it's going to jump me in front of the camera, and I'm going to be able to rotate around the camera. Similarly to the cube, I can do the same thing, numpad period, rotate, point light, numpad period, and then rotate. But I like to set this shortcut instead of numpad period to F. So again, I'm going to go back to the preferences, click on frame selected, go to 3D view, then click this, and then click on F. And now F is going to be set as my shortcut. So if I minimize this and if I click on F, I'm going to be able to rotate around objects. You can also select a lot of objects and then press on F, and then it's going to select like the average point between these objects, and you're going to be able to rotate around them. One thing to keep in mind is if you're doing 3D modeling, you don't have to follow along with this, but if I press on F, for example, it's going to fill like the faces and do weird stuff with this. So if you're 3D modeling a lot, then I recommend you don't set it to F and then keep it as numpad period. But since I'm animating most of the time and barely modeling, I'm going to be able to select.
I don't think I'm going to change key mapping unless absolutely necessary. Hey yo, how's it going? You want to see something weird? You want to see something weird? Okay. So look what happens when I hit Shift tilde. The whole perspective of what this 3D animation software is immediately changes. Yeah. I'm kind of, a devil on my shoulder now. Now, look at, Shift tilde, then enable gravity, and it's just like, oh, wow. Don't mind me. I'm just in creative mode for some reason. And I can just hit spacebar and teleport to objects. Frickin'. Cool. I'm just frickin' on top of my head walking around. This is wild. But yeah. Wild. Okay. Here we go. At work, seam ripping a jacket for my boss. Weird. Yep, it is in fact weird.
Keep this at F. So for now, that's pretty much widget about the preferences. I can close this, make sure to save this, but again, autosave is enabled, and then turn off the preferences. Now let me show you how to create and delete objects inside Blender. Like I told you, deleting objects is pretty easy. You can either click on the delete key or press on X and then delete. Now if I want to create a new cube, I can either go here on this menu and then click on add, and then we have a bunch of settings here. I can press on mesh and then add a cube from this list like this. Or alternatively, the shortcut is Shift A, and I recommend you get used to shortcuts. Right now it might feel overwhelming, but you're gonna get used to them.
Yeah.
Shortcut is Shift A to add. Now I'm gonna press on mesh and then bring the cube like so. If I want to create a new object, I can press on Shift, Mesh, and then let's, for example, create a UV sphere. And I don't see the UV sphere right now because it's stuck inside the cube.
Oh, damn. Hold on. I just realized that I made myself a freaking egg sandwich, and I left it in the kitchen. I made myself a delicious breakfast, and then I forgot to eat it. I'm going crazy here. Who makes breakfast and then forgets to eat it? Me, apparently. I just want to learn Blender. Yeah, well, can you learn Blender on an empty stomach? No.
Like this. Whenever you create an object, it's automatically selected. For example, if I create a cone, it's automatically selected, so I'm going to be able to press on G and then move it out like this. Now when you press on Shift A, this menu might feel overwhelming because you see a lot of stuff here, but don't worry, all you have to know right now is these three: mesh, light, and then camera. That's it. We're going to learn all of those as we go on, but you're going to have to concern yourself with all of these. And this is a good time to tell you about the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, which means that if you learn Blender's 20% of the features, you're going to be able to create 80% of the stuff. Or if you're learning something new, then 80% of the results come from the 20% of the efforts. And Pareto principle is applied to a lot of other stuff, and you can look into it after this video. So my point is that you don't have to learn everything about Blender. I've been using Blender for many years, and I still don't know some stuff, and that's okay because it's not...
No. What happened is that we got to school and then we ate school breakfast. I don't think we turned out fine, actually. I am not certain that we turned out fine. It made it so that we were socialized into the only time we're allowed to eat is when we're at work. On our break. Yeah, you didn't eat school breakfast and it shows. I'm sorry. My stomach is empty. And I'm only just eating now. I'll get better.
necessary to use, and if I don't know anything, I will learn it step by step. Now, I told you how to add the objects, but let's say I want to add a camera. Let's say we have no camera in the scene. It's pretty easy to do. I can click on Shift A, then click on camera, and now it's going to spawn it right inside the cube. So again, new objects are selected, so I'm going to press on G and then move it out like this. Now I'm going to press on numpad 0 to enter the camera view, or if you don't have a numpad, you can click on this button and then enter the camera view like so. Then click on Shift F and then place your camera wherever you want. So WASD, Q and E, and let's say I want to...
It's not explaining how objects are always spawned on the origin point. Well, the cursor origin.
Take a screenshot of these or take a picture of these. I'm gonna place it right around here, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you're working on an animation, there might be some cases where you want to hide your object. For example, let's say this is my character and I'm animating my character like so, and this cube is distracting. I can press on H, and it's gonna be permanently hidden. And if I want to unhide my object, I can press on Alt H, and now it's gonna unhide. So again, H for hide, Alt H for unhide, and that's pretty much it. And now this is a great time to teach you a bit about the outliner and organization. So if I go to the site, it shows me everything I have seen in the text and icon format. So for example, I have a camera, and if I select the camera, it's going to be highlighted here as well. If I select the cone, it's going to be highlighted here. Then the cube, sphere, and also the light like this. Similarly, I can select an object from here, and it's going to be selected in a 3D viewport as well. So let's say I'm working here and I'm lost and I want to find my camera or a cube. I can press on cube, for example. And now I'm going to go here and I press on F. Now it's going to be able to frame select and then orbit around the cube. So that's pretty useful when you're working on large scenes. One more thing I should tell you is that this eye icon determines what you see and don't see in the viewport, and this camera icon determines what you see and don't see in the final render. So let's say I'm working and I press on H on my cube. You can see it's hidden and the eye icon just disappeared, which means that I don't see the cube in the viewport. But if I render the final animation from the camera and this is enabled, it's going to be visible inside the camera. But if I disable this, then the cube won't be visible in the final animation as well. So be sure to keep that in mind when you're animating. Now I'm just going to press on H, Alt H, or similarly I can use this eye icon. So click here again, and then make the cube appear or disappear and do whatever I want basically. Now this outliner can be organized and customized way more, so we're going to go through.
Excuse me.
We're going to import the scene and organize stuff, so I'm not going to overwhelm you with the stuff for now, and you can just leave this as default as it is right now. But to keep this as simple as possible, you can think of this collection as your folders inside your PC, where you can drag and drop different assets and organize them. But we're going to go through them in the lighting segment, so don't worry about it for now. And now before we move on, I'm going to tell you a bit about the render settings. So if you remember, we want to edit preferences, system, and then adjusted the GPU settings. I enabled optics. Now if you go to the render properties, which is this either TV or microwave button, I still don't know what this is. If I click here, you can see I have a bunch of settings from here. Now, default render engine is set to Eevee, and we have, if I click on Eevee, we have Eevee, Workbench, and Cycles. Workbench is not used for final renders, so I want you to pay attention to Eevee and Cycles. Cycles is basically the real-time ray tracing engine.
I think that's a camera. Like, I think that icon right there is supposed to be like that. This right here. That's what I see. Here, screenshot. I can't zoom in on it. Oh, I accidentally pressed save, but let's do new image manipulation, and then we do file, and then we do open, and then we take the screenshot, and we open it. And then we bring it over here, and then we do as a control zoom. What is zoom? Plus and minus. Is it num plus? Okay, yeah. See? That image right there? Obviously a camera. You know? Just like freaking... Oh, it's just fine. I don't know what it is. Is this a microwave or an oven? I shouldn't be rude. I shouldn't be rude. I haven't digested my food yet, and I'm being rude.
Where you can create realistic, high-quality stuff. And Eevee is real-time fast render engine, which is not as accurate or realistic as Cycles, but it can still give you pretty good results and render scenes a lot faster. But for this tutorial, I want to use Cycles and show you how to get beautiful scenes done with Cycles, but you can absolutely get amazing results with Eevee and change a bunch of settings, and I recommend search for some Eevee tutorials if you want to learn how this works. So I'm going to click this and then switch this to Cycles. Now once I click on Cycles, I have a device option. Make sure you select the device and then click on GPU compute. If you don't see this, it means that you didn't enable GPU from the preferences, or you don't have a GPU inside your PC. If that's the case and you feel like your PC is weak, then I highly recommend you switch to Eevee and then follow along with Eevee, because
I almost grabbed my bottle of ketchup instead of the tea.
Switch to Cycles, enable GPU, and that's it. One thing I also recommend you change is we have a bunch of settings, but don't worry about them for now. Go to the viewport. Under viewport, we have max samples. Take this and then type 10, for example, because 1024 is a lot of samples. We don't need them. Basically, samples determine the quality of the image and the noisiness of the image. So the more samples you have, the less noisy.
I'm just gonna do 6. Output, frame rate, 30 FPS, okay.
click this and then switch to 30. Now, you can also use 24, which is used mostly for films, but you can definitely use 24 as well. You can also use 60, but it's going to take a lot of time to render, and you're going to need to render a lot more frames. So I think the sweet spot is 30 FPS, which I also used for many years. So I'm going to click this, switch to 30 FPS, and I leave this as it is. I'm also going to take the cone and the sphere and then delete them. I'm also going to move my camera closer to the point light, and I'm trying to rearrange the objects as they were when I opened Blender. So I'm using G to move these, and then place them like so. And the last thing I recommend you change is go to this timeline And then if I hover over this edge, I'm going to get these two arrows. If I click on hold and then move this up, I'm going to be able to slightly extend the timeline, and I like to have it somewhere over here. And also I want to start my animation from frame 0, not frame 1. So I have this start, end, and then step, which is like same thing here. We have frame range, frame start, frame end, and frame step. Step means on which frame we are on currently, but we're going to cover that in the animation episode. For now, what I want you to change is the start frame. So click on this arrow to move it on the left side, or you can also click here and type 0 and then press enter to confirm, or press anywhere on the screen, left click on the screen to confirm. And also I want to move this timeline playhead to 0 as well. So I'm going to click this, move this to 0, and that's pretty much it. So I adjusted the timeline, the render properties, the output properties, and the last thing we need to do is if I close Blender, everything is going to be forgotten. So next time I open Blender, I want everything to be saved. So for that, we can go to File on the top left screen, click on Defaults, and then click on Save Startup File, and then click on Override. In my case, in your case, it might be a different menu, but make sure to confirm this. And once we confirm this, whenever we open up Blender, all of our changes will be saved. So that's pretty much it for the first segment of the video. Now feel free to pause this and practice what you learned, but if you're ready to move on to the next segment, then let's continue. In the next segment, we're going to download and organize the necessary resources which are going to help us create amazing, beautiful cinematic Minecraft animations. So let's begin. Now I'm going to minimize Blender and go inside my browser and show you different resources which you need to download. So first thing we need to download is the MC Prep add-on, which is going to make our life a lot easier, prep the materials and import assets pretty easily. So go to this website or click the link in the description, scroll down and then click on download MC Prep. And this is going to ask you to save it in any folder you want, so I highly recommend to go to the MC Structure folders, then go to add-ons, and then save it inside the add-ons like this. So I'm going to click on save, and then MC Prep is an add-on of Blender, and whenever you're installing
MC Prep. Modules installed. Okay, so edit, preferences, add-ons, MC Prep. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. That is in fact installed. So literally, I downloaded it and then I dragged and dropped it into Blender, and it installed. Wonderful. Perfect. Love that. What's next?
Add-on, you don't have to unzip the files. So make sure to keep them as zipped. And now we can move on to the next resource, which is Mineways. Mineways is going to allow us to export the world from Minecraft game and then import the
Mineways.
into Blender. But in my last video, I got a lot of complaints about Mineways. People think that it's unsafe. So because of that, I'm also going to tell you how to use JMCT OBJ. But first, I'm going to go to the Mineways website, and you can click this to download this for Windows, or you can click here to download for the Mac, and click here to download for the Linux, which have different instructions. So I'm going to click on download for
Linux, see these instructions. For Linux, download the Windows version, then use Wine to emulate Windows. Oh no! I've never tried Mineways on Linux. I've been told it sometimes works. Oh no.
For Windows. And I like to save this into assets and then go to maps and then download it inside maps because we're going to use it to import and export maps. And nextly we have James2obj. Again, you can go to these websites or just click the link in the description. And once you go to James2obj, you're going to be greeted with this screen. Click on download latest release. Then it's going to jump you to this GitHub page. Scroll down and then click on the james2obj.jar. We need this .jar file, so click and download this. But if you already use MindNoise, then you don't have to download this. I'm going to click here, download, and then again save this into assets, save this into maps so that we stay organized, and then click on save, and that's pretty much it. Now the next resource we need is the Blockscape Studios Asset Pack or the Rig Pack. Now you need to go to this Nari 3U website, make sure you're on this tab, or you can click the link in the description, it will jump you here. Then scroll down. You can read the info if you want, and then scroll down and then click on download now, which is going to jump you into the Dropbox file. Once you're here, click on download and it's going to ask you to sign in, and once you sign in, make sure to download the file and organize it. Then again, go to MC Structured folder, click on assets, and then we're going to be able to save this inside assets. I'm going to click on save, and now it's going to download right inside my folder. And lastly, we're going to need the Minecraft character rig. For that, we have two options. I'm going to be using BPS rig version 4 throughout this tutorial, but you can also use the Woodplank rig, which I just released a few months ago, made by Entertainer007. So first, I'm going to show you how to download the Woodplank rig. So you can go to this link, click the link in the description, click on download now. Then you can enter your email address, your first and last name. It doesn't have to be your actual real last name. And if you want to see the newsletters and updates from me, then you can check on SetB newsletter, updates and offer via email. But again, you don't have to do that. I'm going to check.
Hold up. Do I need to make Minecraft animations? Like, do I need to? I can create anything in Blender. Does it have to look like Minecraft? All of this needing add-ons, using other people's work. I don't know if that's for me. Is this for me? Nah, be creative. Yeah, like, be creative. Like, this isn't creating. This is... This video right here is just like, hey, you can make movies. Just download all of the action figures and not do anything yourself. I was already able to make this. I objectively know that it's kinda shit. Especially with that clipping fighting. I'm going to save, and I'm going to do a new file. Okay. Particles in what is constraint physics? Check. Animation, Fader node tree material, delta. I'm going to start at 0, go to frame 0. Okay. Animation constraints, physics. Collision. Object. Modeling. Structures, primitive. Selecting editing properties. Wait a minute. You are Team Captain America or Team Iron Man? I'm actually, when it comes to Civil War, I'm actually Team Thor. That's they weren't in the movie. That was not a choice. Well, here's the problem. The whole premise of Civil War was these superheroes are bad, so now we need government regulation and stuff. And it's just like, so Thor, just because of like the fact that they were born and are an Asgardian, have to have laws and regulations determining like where they go and what they do. So Ragnarok was happening at the same time as Civil War? Is that what was happening? Oh, okay. No. Hulk was uh wait, hold on. What? Yeah, Hulk basically disappeared after the end of Age of Ultron. Yeah. Yeah. He was he was lost at the end of Age of Ultron. And was on that other planet. Satar? Is it Satar? I forget the name of that planet. But anyway. Okay. My whole brain on the timeline was weird. I don't think Thor would have signed the Sokovia Accords. That's my hunch. Uh, I don't think Thor even knows how to write in English. Uh, he would just like write it down in like Fulorc Nordic runes at best. But he would be like, he would have like Tony or Captain America explain it to him, and he would be like, "Oh, that's kind of yeah." He's not American. He's not any. He's a non-state entity. So it's it's a whole different thing. Mesh? They can't. Nobody can contain Thor. I don't think they can. Like, oh wait, he lost his hammer, didn't he? At the beginning of Thor Ragnarok, he lost his hammer, so yeah. And T'Challa wasn't even on anybody's side. He just wanted to kill that guy. Wait, hold on. T'Challa was on Team Cap because he helped, like, heal Bucky. Yeah, I'm Team Cap too. And I can sympathize with Tony's whole deal because he has wait, so T'Challa helped write the Accords in the first place. Okay. And Tony was just constantly racked with guilt and PTSD because collateral damage meant that people were still dying because of his actions. And then on top of the fact that he used to be like weapons manufacturing and all of that is just like, no, we need to I feel like Tony felt guilty because he somehow thought that because he was like leading and helped form the Avengers, he just made more weapons that ended up killing people. Does that make sense? And I think that's also why he was so distant and regulatory on Peter. When especially for Spider-Man Homecoming. Because it's just like, yes, I helped you and stuff. Like, I feel like I ended up creating yet another weapon, and you're just going to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, even when, like, the boat was cut in half, and all of that is just like, a kid, I told you to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This is above your pay grade, which is actually, I don't know if Peter was even getting paid. There was a Stark internship. Was he even getting paid? Was Peter even getting paid? Yeah, only at the end of Homecoming. Only at the very end of Homecoming. After he repeatedly was butting heads with the Vulture. No, he chose to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man by the end of the movie of Homecoming. He definitely wanted to be an Avenger. Way before at the beginning of the movie. That's why he was like angry about the training wheels protocol on the Spider-Man suit. I'm just staring at a cube, and this is not what I planned on doing right now. Yeah, but he grew throughout the movie and found out that he wasn't right. Yeah, that's the whole point of the movie, is just like, yo, you're still a kid. Keep being a kid for a bit. And it's just like,
whenever we move the bone.
okay, so I need to figure out what that cube thing is that he was talking about before. This is the other Minecraft animation video, but I'm not going to do Minecraft animations, I don't think. I'm just using the knowledge. Knowledge is what brings us together today. Wise, true wise,
Another one.
with brain so big, so winkly.
In any effect, like is visible chart. If we want to second, you forming so cube out. In this thing, these three dots, this is like object data properties. So this is the object properties, this is the object data. So the technical things.
Object data. Perfect. What in object data do I need?
That the object has. We have a window called
Tell me, Santa Hat Man.
This is gonna be my basis. I'm gonna
Shape key. Shape key. Add shape key.
new shape key. This is gonna be something. While I have the second shape keys thing.
Okay, so what I'm going to do modifier, generate subdivision surface. Generate deform normals, edit geometry instances. Okay, I want to subdivide this a couple times. Subdivide. Is there a hotkey? Subdividing mesh. Okay. So now what do I do?
Active, I can go into tab and edit mode, and then I can edit this mesh however I want. I'm gonna turn off snap. However I want. I'm gonna make some.
Okay, so all. And how do I circularize? Circularize. To sphere. to sphere. Okay. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay. Shift, Alt. Okay. A, Shift, Alt, S.
Like this. You can toggle between different shape keys. Those are both saved in the object. Okay, let me go out of edit mode. You don't see anything outside of that because the value of the shape key is 0. If you're in edit mode, you want to see what you're doing, so it shows
Oh, Shift, Alt, S. Okay, so I got the two. I got the two shapes.
you what it is, but in object mode, this is set to 0. You can drag a slider and it's going to change between those two shape keys. And that is what we need to do with the leg. So whenever the leg bends, we're gonna add a shape key. It kind of corrects for all the mistake.
Okay, this is cool. This is cool. Okay, okay. I can turn a square into a sphere. Okay, hold on, hold on. Hold on. File. Don't save. What happens? Oh, wait, no. I would have to start from scratch. Okay, so I'm gonna delete do it like that, and then Shift Alt shape key. Shape key. Shift Alt S. Turn that into a sphere. GC. GC. Shift A. Mesh. Cube. Z. And then what I want to do is N tool options, no, item, mean bevel weight, edit, loop tools, no, animation, no, view, location, that's an skin swapper. Oh, okay. 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 View. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to change the size and shape of this cube.
This F2 to rename stuff, so I'm gonna call this body. Oh, now so you can in the bottom. Now if you rotate this, it's gonna have 6, so press 6 and enter. So it's now in the bottom. Now if you rotate this, it's gonna have an origin point 6 and press G to move it, Z on the x-axis, and I think we move it up by 6, so press 6 and press G. Now I'm gonna press tab and to move this up, body, and the Z is 12. So Y is 8, X is 4, this is the body, scale it down later. Let's go 1 meter for us here, because it's easier to of a Minecraft make our life the tutorial. Shift A to add a cube, and what I want to do, because it's gonna make our life a lot easier, press N for the sidebar here. We're gonna match the dimensions of a Minecraft character, so 1 pixel.
Okay, that's the alarm for work. But how do I do transform? I'm just going to delta shift alt Shift Alt S. Okay. Now I'm going to that actually looks pretty good. Shift A, mesh cube. And let's see. Okay, and then subdivide twice, and then also select all to shape these. Shift Alt S. So that's Okay. Okay. My brain is coming up with ideas. Trying to come up with ideas. But you have work, no more ideas. Aww. But but the ideas be idea. Look, I can make. If I wanted to, I could just continue making whatever this. Okay, yeah, I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. Bye bye. Bye bye.